Coming up on Kenny What You Grow, we're going to make some classic chunky salsa. Welcome to Kenny What You Grow. I'm Holly Baird. Today we are taking our homegrown tomatoes, peppers, garlic, and onions, and we're going to make some classic chunky salsa. This is a little bit of a chunkier salsa, and it's really good. It's really simple to make. Most of the ingredients you probably have from your garden or can get from your farmer's market, or you already have in your house. So what we're going to do first is we're going to blanch our tomatoes. So what we got to do first is, I have to get a knife, but what we're going to do is we're going to score the bottom of our tomatoes with an X so that they're easier to peel once they come out of the ice water bath. So I'll show you that when we get over by the stove. Okay, so now our water is getting close to boiling. It's okay that it's not boiling. We just want it super hot because we want to do the hot to the cold, so it makes the peels come off. So all you got to do is just on the bottom of your tomatoes take and make an X like that, and then when you're ready to peel it, it's pretty easy. So I'm just going to get these all in here and get ready to get them blanched. Okay, so these are starting to split already, so I'm going to put them in here. We did do some cherry ones, and we just had them. We've got some prolific tomato plants right now, so since we had the extra cherry tomato, we figured we'd just put them in there and get them to work with our salsa as well. So I'm just going to get these all blanched, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so I'm peeling these tomatoes, and as you can see, this is nice because we put that X on the bottom, so it really just helps so that it splits it open. I have to core them as well. And so I got this is actually the lid to my cake pan. So I use this to help kind of keep, just helps keep the all the wetness from the tomatoes in the pan instead of going all over the place. And so then what I do here is, this one's a little bit tedious because it's got these little I don't know what's from overgrowth or whatnot, lack of water, so splitting of the skin. But anyway, so you just peel it off, okay? And I have this one here that's peeled, and first you want to core it. You can do that however you want. These have big cores, so you have to just be patient and get your core out. Now be careful when you do this. You can core them before you put them on the water. We just wait till after. So okay, so I got my core out. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to cut it into chunks, kind of, I don't know, 1 inch, half an inch. And obviously some of these are going to be a little bit juicier. This one is ripe, but it's not overripe or not super ripe. It's just ripe. So I'm going to get in my chunks here, and then we need to drain them. But first I'm going to get them all cut up and get them in this stock pot here. I'm just using the stock pot to hold them, not cooking them yet. So there we go. So I got them cut up into chunks. That's why you may think, okay, what does the chunky salsa means? It means you just get larger chunks of tomatoes. So when you're eating this, I use a lot of salsa in cooking, so I like how I have the chunks. If I'm going to make like a chicken chili, sometimes I'll dump a jar of salsa in there, and then it's like I have a substantial tomato from my garden in my chili, or when I'm using it for even just to eat it. It's nice to have a little bit of extra there. So, and some of these tomatoes are obviously going to be meatier than others. This is a different variety called a peche, which we're growing, and this has a lot of meat to it. So just go ahead, get them peeled, get them chopped up how you like, and then, keep it chunky. And if maybe you don't like chunky salsa, you want to put it through your food processor, by all means go ahead. This is just how the recipe does it and how I'm choosing to do it. Okay, so we let our tomatoes drain. They're in the stock pot on the stove, and what we're doing now is we're chopping the rest of the vegetables that go into it, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, and then there's going to be some cilantro as well. So once I get all of this chopped, we're going to cook it down. So we'll show you that process soon. Okay, so now we've got everything chopped up. I'm gonna put into the pot, but there's also a few other things you need. You need salt, sugar, vinegar. I'm adding cumin. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I like the taste of it in my salsa. We're getting this cooked down a little bit. Well, not really cooked down. It's pretty much ready to go, but we're adding the other vegetables to it. So I am tripling this recipe. I think I had said that, but just so you know. Whew. All right, let me do some stirring here. Okay, so I got that. I'm still gonna mix it a little bit more, but I'm gonna add my vinegar. So it's a cup per batch. That was 3 cups, and this should combine better now. Now we got some liquid. And the reason why we're adding vinegar is because a lot of these vegetables are not very acidic, so it'll help add up the acidity in your salsa, and it helps preserve it so that you can water bath can it and its shelf will become shelf stable. And then we're going to add some sugar here. Okay, so it says 1 tablespoon, so since we tripled this, we're going to add 3 tablespoons. I don't know if the sugar is necessary. If you don't want to add it, I'm sure you can. You don't have to, but I'm just choosing to. Then it calls for 3 teaspoons of salt. 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons, so I'm just going to add that. That just helps brings out the flavor of the vegetables. Then I'm going to add a tablespoon of cumin, ground cumin, just to give a little bit more flavor as well. Cumin is commonly used in taco seasoning, chili, salsa, so it just has a good, nice flavor to it. So I'm just going to get this stirred up. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook this for about 30 minutes or so till the vegetables get soft, maybe close to an hour, just kind of depending, and then we're going to get ready to can it. Okay, so our salsa is ready. It's been cooking. Well, we were making it and then we stopped to eat dinner. So it's been cooking for a little bit over an hour, but a half an hour would have been fine. Closer to an hour. You just want those vegetables to soften up and get everything just all cooked together. It smells really good. So here we go. We're going to get this jarred up here. And now we have... Okay. Okay, so we're using wide mouth jars mainly because we went through our canning lids and we have like all these wide mouth lids. So we dug out the wide mouth jars for this. You can use either. I think the wide mouth look really pretty with the stuff in it. But like I said, you can use either. You need a 1/2 inch headspace for this, and then we process them at 15 minutes. Let me get this measured here. That's perfect. Alright. Then I'm going to wipe off my rim here. You guys want to wipe off your rim so that you get a proper seal. And then get your lid on. Then we have some rings. Ooh, there we go, that one is nice. Okay. You just want to finger tighten it, you don't want to crank it on there. Let me get my lid off my canner. And this is a 9 jar canner. So we'll probably have to do 2 batches, it looks like. Alright, so. And my water is boiling, so you always just want to make sure that when you get them all in there, you have about 1 inch or so of water above the jars once you drop them down. And then, like I said, these are going to process for 15 minutes. So I'm going to get them all in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and process them for their 15 minutes. And then we'll take them out and see kind of what we have left. Okay, so our timer went off, and we have our pints of salsa ready to go. And I'm just going to get them over onto a towel here. And we got a second batch, so I'm going to put them kind of closer together. But when I do this, because I kind of klutzy, I always use a hot pad underneath just to kind of hold on to it just in case, especially when I'm going this far. Okay, so I'm going to get all these out here. And the original recipe called for 5 pints. We tripled it, so we'll have to see what we come up with here. We're going to get the second batch in and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have, it's going to be a total of 16.5 pints of salsa. We tripled the recipe, and so we got a little bit extra. You never know. You know, don't count your jars until they come out of the canner, right? So what you're going to do is after you get all your jars out of the canner, you're going to wait till they seal. These all seal pretty quickly. Sometimes it's just that difference in temperature. It must be cooler in here than I think it is right now. So all of these are sealed. If they don't seal, you can refrigerate it, eat whatever you have within about 7 days, or you can reprocess it in the canner maybe with something else. So we're going to get the rest of these going, and we'll have some nice delicious salsa in our pantry. Thanks for watching. I'm Holly Baird, and this has been Kenny What You Grow. For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.